Is there anyone else like me just absolutely fed up of listening to Roy Keane bitch and moan about football this day and age? Oh my God, I've just seen been sent clips of the recent Overlap episode where former Manchester United players Gary Neville, Roy Keane, alongside Jill Scott and Ian Wright are talking on the Overlap about Bruno Fernandes celebrating 20 goals. Gary Neville even starts it off by saying that's some achievement, that isn't it? And then Roy Keane goes on for about 4 minutes ranting and raving about standards and how much of a circus and how pathetic Manchester United are, and Bruno Fernandes for even making it about him. First things first, let's just get into Roy Keane a little bit on this. He's all too happy to criticise Monday football, but all too willing to take the money that Monday football and the social media world in which we live in now gives him. Because there'll be plenty of other former players that would love to be in the same position that Roy Keane is right now, taking the money that they didn't get the opportunity to earn after their careers finished. He's lucky to be where he is, and he's all too happy to take the riches that come with it, but all too happy at the same time to just completely criticise how football has changed and how people live their lives and celebrate goals and get on with their football lives these days. Cheer up, for God's sake, Roy. I don't care how irate you get or how you think that standards are dropping in football, in particular at Manchester United, because it only seems to be Manchester United. Just on the celebration bit alone from Bruno Fernandes at weekend, how he's making it all about him. I'm just going to read out a little bit of it, actually, because I've listened to the clip now and I've read through the quotes as well. Roy Keane on Bruno Fernandes' assist record. What do you get for being level with Kevin De Bruyne and Thierry Henry? Nothing. Fair. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, in terms of big trophies. What's the priority when you play for Manchester United? Number one priority, winning trophies. Yeah, like Bruno has said. And like Gary Neville, to be fair to Gary Neville, did say and come back at Roy Keane in this episode saying, well, I interviewed him a couple of months ago and he said he's not finished. He's not accomplished what he wants to accomplish. He wants to win big trophies. That's what he wants. Roy Keane then goes on to say he will not be winning trophies at United with the mindset from the players. They conceded 2 goals and everyone's getting giddy because he's equalled a record for assist. It's mind-boggling. It's a circus. Well, it looked like a bit of a circus at everyone giggling and laughing at Roy Keane on the Overlap episode. Like Gary Neville's squeal and laugh at Roy Keane there, like supposed to be the host of the actual programme. You're interviewing Bruno Fernandes there, who's given everything to Manchester United only 2 months ago, like you said on the episode, Gary. Yet you're all too willing to allow your former teammate, your co-host on that Overlap episode, you're all too willing to laugh and let him absolutely slaughter Bruno Fernandes, who, in your words, deserves the number 7 shirt at Manchester United. You ball job, Gary Neville. Stand up for what you've actually said before and stop giving in to Roy Keane. My God, are you just trying to make an episode out of something on the Overlap? Jesus God, man, it's embarrassing at the moment, these United players. I'll read more of what Roy Keane says. After the game, he got interviewed and he said in his interview, the captain of Manchester United, he said a few times I should have shot, but I made the passes. Wow, Roy Keane says. How can your mindset of a footballer go to a match and be talking about some individual record? If it happens, he's going to get all of them stats anyway. But for it to become the main point about Manchester United's performance at the weekend, I thought I was cringing with all of them. And all the players, when he got the assist going off the what about the guy who scored the goal? I think he was supposed to say off to Bruno Fernandes on that bit there. Well, first of all, just on that bit, Roy Keane, why is the game all about Bruno Fernandes' assist? Sky Sports, the people that pay your wages, the people that go on about these stats constantly, week in, week out, day after day, Roy. The same people that pay your wages, like I just said, in the position that you're lucky to be in, that other footballers that are struggling, obviously after their careers finished, didn't have the same opportunity as you with. Come on, Roy. The reason this is all being built up is because of the way that modern football is. Jesus, I mean, seriously, what is this man thinking? It's like Bruno's gone into that game and made it all about him. What are you talking about, Roy? Cheer the bleeding hell up. Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse with Roy Keane on this one. When players win awards at Manchester United, it's fantastic, but not when it's the main chat. I got Player of the Year once, and nobody turned up to the dinner. That's not my priority. My priority is winning trophies. Manchester United have recognised this and didn't even hold an end of awards a dinner this year. They had it in the indoor area, the indoor pitch area. No cameras, no lights, no action, none of that, no drama, no circus, as you call it, Roy. Maybe do a little bit more work again as a pundit and actually look into what's actually happening before you criticise the so-called circus. Yeah, or is it still that bitterness about Michael Carrick doing a job that you could never do in football? And podcast and punditry is your limit, Roy. Seriously, it gets worse than that. And this is probably the bit that takes the biscuits for me in terms of what he said about Luke Shaw. I'm really angry thinking about this because Roy Keane, when he mentioned Luke Shaw, when Luke Shaw scores his first goal in 97 years, obviously he's just talking tongue-in-cheek there with that one, exaggerating it to make his point again. But when he talks about Luke Shaw scoring his first goal in 90 years and they're all like, hee, laughing and joking, you're not allowed to celebrate goals anymore, mate? You're not allowed to celebrate goals? Like Luke Shaw scoring a goal is a big thing for him. He doesn't score many, so he scored the goal, which helped Manchester United win another game, by the way, 11 in 16 for Michael Carrick. He's scoring and celebrating that goal. Luke Shaw, who has started every single game this season, something that not many players get to do. Yes, Luke Shaw has been blighted by injuries, something as well that Roy Keane should be very aware of. When a serious injury happens in a career, I think you need to give a little bit more respect to somebody who has gone through that, especially when you have been through that yourself, when you did your knee ligament injuries, Roy. Respect on the player that scored a goal, and for celebrating it, I mean, seriously, come on, Roy. Cheer up a little bit, mate. I'm sure you celebrated the goal every now and then, and why wouldn't we celebrate a goal? Just the whole thing about Roy Keane at the moment, and Gary Neville squealing and laughing, watching him there slag off these Manchester United players, the same players that are coming out of their way to actually interview with Gary Neville as well. I know it's part of their contract and they all have to do media work and everything like that, but they could just simply say, no, sod you, I'm not doing that. But no, all Man United players do it. They all stand up and just do their work and their media work. And here's Roy Keane and Gary Neville slaughtering Manchester United constantly when we're actually doing well. Yes, we haven't won anything. Yes, the standards have dropped. But do you know what? To give us a chance to actually look at what's going on right now and how the standards are trying to be changed. Roy Keane is an absolute embarrassment. An absolute embarrassment. I used to love this man, but since he's come into punditry, he's turned into a miserable old man who doesn't like anything about modern day football. And I'll use this last thing as well here on Roy Keane. Don't celebrate assists, don't celebrate goals. And it's a disgrace, it's a circus. I was raging. He was going mad. His veins popping out of his head in this episode and the overlap, going on one of his Roy Keane rants. Yet in the same Super Sunday later on, and I don't know if anyone's watched this, Asula scored a goal for Newcastle against West Ham, pulled out a glittery glove, i.e. Michael Jackson, did a full Michael Jackson dance celebration, and of course, Sky went over to Roy Keane and asked him his opinion on that. There's a time and a place. But when it's Manchester United, he's raging. He's raging. And they shouldn't be celebrating and laughing because Luke Shaw scored his first goal in ages. And Bruno Fernandes is celebrating his assist record. I said this yesterday when I was going on about Gary Neville, when he needs to do a little bit more research into the rules and why that goal was given for handball with Mbeumo. And by the way, Bruno Fernandes did give massive credit, Roy, to Bryan Mbeumo. If he falls to the floor because the assist didn't come off, maybe think about it not being the assist and the fact that United didn't put another chance away, because Bruno Fernandes wants to win things and is the only player that has ever set any standards at this football club in the last 10 years. Seriously, get a grip, Roy. It's out of order. And I think, again, I hate to say this about a former Manchester United player who I absolutely idolised back in the day, but this is for clicks. It's getting embarrassing. It really is. The standards and the double standards that these former Manchester United players are talking about right now and bringing up is an absolute embarrassment. I just don't get it. If it's not Gary Neville, it's Roy Keane. If it's not Roy Keane, it's Paul Scholes. I don't know what Manchester United have to do right now. We've not had a great season. No, we haven't been good for a long, long time. But the players are celebrating another win. Like she's 8 in 9 in the Premier League at Old Trafford for Michael Carrick. Sour grapes is what I call out on this one. Yeah, another disgrace of a rant or comment or reaction to something that Manchester United have accomplished under Michael Carrick. That's all I see with this. Shut up bitching, shut up moaning, and just accept that Manchester United have had a better second half of the season. For God's sake, honestly, it is embarrassing now. And he needs calling out on this, Roy Keane. So angry, honestly. Like, what do these players have to do? No one's happy with these players. Obviously, they've let us down for years now, but we have to call it. We have to call it how we see it. And at the moment, Manchester United are doing better on the pitch. Honest to God, you'd think that the world has collapsed and we were in Chelsea's position. Like, share and subscribe. For Adam FC, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you all in the next video.